Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Camille Cosby has chimed in on all of this media coverage of Colby Bryant and all of the things that have been said about him. And this woman has gone through pretty much the same thing. Her husband is jailed on hearsay, but Les Moonves, Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, Stephen Collins, is so many you can hardly name them all, are all free. I really believe this country has an unspoken code that you just don't put white males in jail over things like that, especially if they have some kind of status. They don't go to jail for that. They don't. But a black man, you can have damn near no evidence, just a word of somebody, and he can end up in jail. Just like in the case of Bill Cosby, they did not have one shred of DNA evidence. Nothing. That whole trial was on the word of women that knew damn well they couldn't prove nothing. And my heart goes out to Vanessa and her children. You know, ignorant people in this country have spoken so horribly about Colby. They couldn't even wait for this man to be placed in the ground with his daughter. They had to go full steam ahead in dragging him over something he was never charged with. And not to mention, the accuser was a skank with multiple semen in her underwear. She got pregnant in rehab. Okay. Yeah, that's some mad credibility there, right? And I'm just glad that Camille is speaking out, and I hope she never stops speaking out with how black men are treated opposed to white men accused of the same thing. And in many cases, they really did the crime. I mean, look at Harvey Weinstein. Over 100 women have come out. That's what that $25 million was for, to pay them off. Hush money. So, ladies and gentlemen, Camille Cosby defends Colby Bryant's legacy, condemns deplorable behavior from media, and it has been deplorable, not to mention all of the women that have cropped up and made accusations that they themselves could not prove, and accusing Colby of a crime that's not even on his record. Ladies and gentlemen, wait for one of theirs to pass on that really raped women. I think we need to return that favor. Camille Cosby is jumping into this firestorm that has become Gayle King's interview questions regarding Colby Bryant. And the wife of Bill Cosby is echoing the sentiments of her husband and Snoop Dogg by claiming certain members of the media are on a quest to demonize black men. That is very true. Camille Cosby released an exclusive statement to The Blast through the family's public relation guru, Andrew Wyatt. Camille is responding one day after Bill Cosby applauded Snoop Dogg for calling out Gayle King over her controversial interview with Lisa Leslie. And I still don't believe anybody threatened Gayle King's life. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. you know. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, one thing that stands out about Mrs. Camille Cosby and Colby Bryant's wife, these two women stuck with their men. And I know that pisses them the hell off. Colby did not lose Vanessa. Bill did not lose Camille. Those families stayed intact, despite the fact that they could have easily have fallen apart over the allegations that came out by these accusers. But in neither case, they could prove any DNA evidence. Remember, when Colby's accuser went to get her, her rape kit done, she had several different men DNA semen in her panties. Okay, several different men. And then they tried to come up with some lame excuse that she put on the wrong panties. She just, okay, so you knew you had to get this done, so you picked up any dirty ass pair of panties with dry semen in it and put it on and went to do your rape kit test, huh? Yes, that's what everybody does. Mm-mm-mm. Camille did not pull punches when she told the blast. History repeats itself again, and multiple more agains. The relentless, stereotypical portrayals of people of color, and I will specify African American men for the purpose of this statement, and the ever present unproving accusations of Black men as sexual deviants, brutal Black bucks, and repetitive obsessions in most general media. Now, ladies and gentlemen, she's right. She's right. One thing we know historically, this country has always been obsessed with Black male sexuality, and they still are to this very day. They still are. They don't obsess over any other man's sexuality in this country like they do the Black man. Their messengers are all too enthusiastically ready to disseminate the particular horrific racist imaginaries that are forever the demonization of Black men. I agree. I agree. Camille further takes aim at King recent interview where she pressed Lisa Leslie about Colby's prior allegation of sexual assault. The media's current attempt to supersede Mr. Colby Bryant's celebrated history with an old case that was unproven and dismissed is downright parasitic and cruel. And I agree with that. This should never have been brought up. I promise you, if Woody Allen passed away right now, they would not be bringing up anything. You know what they would be saying? Oh, well, we got to respect the family. Really? Really? How come you're not respecting these families? Ooh. Mm-mm-mm. And the media's numerous messengers are participants in the deplorable behavior and disrespect for Mr. Bryan's wife, children, and family. Camille knows better than most what it is like to lose a child in the public eye, as she and Bill lost their son Ennis in 1997, and they lost their daughter too. I noticed they didn't even mention their daughter that died. And she is sending love to Vanessa Bryan and the rest of the family during such a horrific time. Anyone who has suddenly lost a spouse, child, or a loved one intensely knows the emotional, penetrating traumas of that kind of shock. I certainly do. Wow. Earlier this week, Bill Cosby reached out with a statement from behind bars as word got to him about the preview of Gayle King's interview, which was released by CBS. And you know what, y'all? I don't know how many of you watch mainstream news, but y'all need to turn CBS off because all of these mainstream news stations are enablers when it comes down to attacking the Black community in this country. They always been enablers. So that being said, you should not even be interested in watching CBS. Snoop was one of the first to call out King for what he felt was an out of pocket shot at Brian's family and legacy of Colby. And we know what happened with that. And you know what? Camille, one thing I liked about Camille is when she always spoke out about her husband, she always made mention to the fact of how imbalanced the legal system is in this country. She always made mention of how it really did Black people wrong. And she's right. But see, they rigged it up to be this way from day one. That was the intent of that 13th Amendment, to always be, the Black community would always be in the crosshairs of law enforcement in prison. That's what it was all about. It's so sad and disappointing that successful Black women are being used to tarnish the image and legacy of successful Black men. It's done on purpose. Even in death, are these people that in need of fame, ratings, and or money? On behalf of myself, Camille, and my family, thank you. Thank you and thank you. My heartfelt prayers are with Colby and his family, as well as with Michael Jackson and his family. May their legacies live on forever. Amen. Amen, Camille. That was a nice statement from her. Y'all, I wish I could say this was the last time we would see this happen, but these folks are going to be laying in waiting for the next Black celebrity or politician or anybody they can get their hands on and drag them once again. America has just showed you have not moved forward as far as racism is concerned. You are still very much like your forefathers. You have zero respect when it comes down to the grieving Black families in this country. You won't even give them time to grieve and try to be together. And Vanessa, she has not gotten one moment of rest from all of the media about her husband, and it's so unfair. But see, I've seen the same media when a white celebrity or some white politician die. Oh, we're going to give the family privacy. Oh, we're going to show respect for the family and not bother the family. Well, I wish you would use that same level of respect for these folks. But we know you don't have that in you. This is why I won't respect your system. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.